All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Steve, for inviting me to come, or having me. I wanted to talk about comments as it relates to SEO, and with the previous speakers, there's so many ways to kind of architect your site so that it performs better. And I think comments is kind of a way to keep the search engines coming back, give them more information. So I'm John. I work at Discuss, and I think sometimes you've probably seen Discuss around, but just a quick background. Discuss is a social commenting platform, so really we take the software side of it, but then add a social layer, and it really adds for interesting connections, links to connect people, sites, interests, and we've grown quite a bit. We're about 5 years old. We now are kind of the second largest social network. We don't really have a destination though, and scale-wise, close to a couple of million sites use Discuss. We have about 1 million comments a day that are posted. So scale-wise, we're continuing to evolve. And just recently, we last month we released Discuss 2012, and so it's all kind of real-time. And this is just like an example on our website. So as new comments flow in, it's very real-time, new kind of interface, and we work pretty much everywhere, including most importantly WordPress. And we have a bunch of plugins, but WordPress is definitely one of the more popular ones. It's part of my clumsiness. I'm not used to PC that much these days. But we have a lot of WordPress VIP sites. I don't know, do any of you use WordPress VIP or more regular WordPress? I know, so we have a fair number of people that on here that use Discuss as VIP clients. Observer first being one of them. But I think more importantly, just the standard WordPress plugin is we just released a new one in July, so it's compatible with the new WordPress 3.4. We added some new functionality, new single sign-on functionality, and really we can go into all of that good stuff. I kind of want to do something more live, more direct. So if you're looking for it, you can just simply search for Discuss on WordPress. See all of the notes. Fair amount of downloads, I believe, and close to 1 million. So a lot of different WordPress sites are using the Discuss plugin, and that's how you want to find it. I think I posted, and Christian, who runs Sunnyside Post, volunteered to let me put this onto his site. But before I get into that, he's very brave. There's no, hopefully I don't break anything. But when it comes to SEO and comments, I think there's really 3 pieces that are important. One is data, and very simply, there's just more data when you actually have here's one of my favorite blogs. I just like reading what he says, but here's a post, has a nice picture. It's probably, I don't know if it's well tagged or not. Decent, size post. But then, that's really all there is to that particular page without there being more comments. So, just quickly, I wanted to show, this is a WordPress site as well. This is the page, and then you get into all of this interesting, rich comment data. And so we've actually worked very closely with Google and other search engines, and a lot of people have mentioned Matt Cutts. They're really trying to get very focused into what is good content, what do we want to index, what do we want to rank more highly. And so comments, they can't be spammy, they can't be lowbrow, but when it's an engaged person leaving a real comment, that's something Google and search engines really care about. And if you actually look at the source of this page, very pretty. Here's the post itself, and that's pretty much it. You can see we're maybe a quarter of the fifth of the way through the page, and then from there you start to get, these are all now Discuss comments. So this is all new data that Google and search engines are going to come in and crawl. And through the plugin itself, There's an option I'll show you to where it renders the comments locally. In Discuss 2012, we've also worked with Google so that they can just crawl Discuss is a JavaScript that renders in an iframe, and so Google can actually render that and see all the data behind that. So there are two ways to do this. This is kind of a local sync that goes on just so for those that, search engines besides Google that aren't as advanced, you can actually see this comment data. So data is one. The second is frequency. And so you post a page, an article, slideshow, what have you, that there's that new page. Google gets to know, says, hey, come look at this new page. They crawl it. Comments are going to be new data that keeps that page fresh. So over minutes, hours, days, weeks, as new people come, comment, post, reply, all of that good stuff to where you think about commenting, that's going to give those search engines a reason to come back, crawl that page again. They also like freshness. They want to know, okay, is this actually something new that's going on? So it's kind of those two play into each other, the data plus the frequency. And then, just the third piece is links, and Jonathan covered that very well earlier. The more links you can get out there, the better. So can get away from that. So let's go back to actually playing with Christian's site and adding a plugin. I think this is probably how most people, whenever I've had WordPress sites, I always just install them through here. I'm very sure I want to install this. And let's go ahead and activate it. And there we go. I think we're good. So first thing, you just want to check the settings. Let me add. Was it Sunnyside Post?
Yeah.
Okay, may need to log in again.
You need me, Matt?
Yeah, you have a super secret password, so you better come up here.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Where is it?
And so just maybe show of hands, how many people have commenting on their site? Do you use? Quite a few. How many use Discuss? All right, decent. Do you know if you guys used Discuss 2012? Or not sure? Not sure. There's no one's looking. It's safe.
We're on VIP, so we use it.
Oh, okay. Cool. It's actually too dark. Let me plug this back in.
Does this plugin work for multi-site?
Yeah, definitely. I'll go into some of the backend settings, but you can, if you have different domains, different URLs, you could actually have the same, and we kind of use the word forum, but essentially one account that deals with, this one domain. You could have a different account for another domain, kind of within your overarching account. You could also just use the same one across multiple. But sometimes for moderation or other settings, or if you want different people involved in different sites, you can set it up that way. All right, we're in. Cool.
You just have to click that, do you? Okay.
Thank you, Christian, for being so brave. All right, so let's go have a look. Does anyone live in Queens?
That is my all-time favorite blog.
All-time favorite blog, Christian.
Especially the comment boards.
All right, it's always dangerous to do this live, but let's see. See if it's showing up. Oh, before we do that, so I always want to check the settings, And by default, I think they're pretty good. So we try to do it pretty simple. All of this populated just when Christian logged in. Single sign-on. Do any of you use that? I can go into more detail. So that's essentially where if you're signed into, like if you're signed into CNN, you're automatically signed in to comment. You don't need to sign in to discuss separately to comment on CNN. So if you have that on your account, you can put it in here. You can also have a special button designed for your site. That's kind of the icon and button. You can choose, do you want to use it on all of them or only, existing or old?
Can it be on all future?
So that's kind of retroactive. So we did it for all of them. So let's take a look. All right, there it is.
Oh, hang
That
on.
simple.
There were comments to that.
Were there comments? Oh, maybe we need to import. Sync comments. As far as SEO, it's this server-side rendering. It's done by default, but that essentially is what when we were showing this page, that's the server-side rendering. So that's putting all of that comment data locally on the HTML. So it's not actually visible to your users, but to search engines, they'll be able to quickly go through this, see all of the pertinent data. All right, let's see. See if there are comments. I might have broke something, Christian. Oh, was it export?
Yeah, it said there was an export of your.
Oh, export from the existing. Good call over there. Someone familiar, more familiar.
And then sync? You have to do both?
I think it's probably. I think most people do sync
There's going to be a
and
lot.
export. Is there going to be a lot?
There's 11,000 comments.
Oh.
That's why you volunteered.
All right. Well, this will be just running in the background. We're good. So on the moderation side, this was related to your question, to where if you wanted to break up how these comments were done, you could. Sunnyside Post, obviously, main one. If you wanted to add a new site, maybe it's a section within Sunnyside Post. Maybe it's a whole nother domain that he wants to do. He can, just add that site.
Why would you want a separate one for a separate section?
You can have different settings or different people related to that other account. So if you wanted specific people to moderate
Oh, I see, okay. All right.
one section, if you wanted a different setting perhaps, so maybe you had blacklisted words or the other one's more free form, you could do that. Very, very quickly in settings, this checkbox, if you go look at and see enable discuss 2012, you can upgrade to the new discuss. So it's, like I was saying, it's a whole new code base, new Firehose architecture, very cool stuff, including some of the SEO stuff that we talked about.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
The old ones, old comments, if they were put in by Joe Dirt and sort of said, the site's up, would that still come through from 10, with this download process?
When you pull them in, it only does for approved comments.
Okay.
So if you've sent other ones to spam in the past,
Yeah.
you're good to go. It doesn't pull those in. Here's the discuss dashboard. I think some people, when they use WordPress, work through the WordPress dashboard. You can also work through the discuss. This is for moderation. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much time, but I wanted to go through some live stuff and save time for questions. And anyway, yeah.
Can you show us what the user sees? I've never really seen discuss. At least I don't think I did. I probably not site with it. But can you show us what the user sees as they're trying to leave a comment and they see something about logging on? Do they have to log on?
No, so we actually did a big study where we looked at, for a while there are all these NIM wars, should we use real identity, what happened? And so we did this big study where we looked at, across discuss how do people leave comments, and it was actually pseudonyms and anonymous comments were not only most prevalent, but also people really engaged and they were more positive than even the real stuff. So it's up to you how you want to set it up. So you can, set it to where someone has to register. You can set it to allow for guest commenting. Here is ABC, another favorite blog of mine. They're also our lead investor, but he has a really good blog if you guys are more in the venture startup area. So
for a site like Christian site, the comments are threaded like this. By installing Discuss, is that what he's going to see? We're going to see on his site. Is it going to be possible to kind of post a reply to a comment?
yeah, definitely. So it is threaded by default, and I think that kind of
You can do that with WordPress anyway.
yeah.
Oh, just not your particular theme.
You have to set up your theme, your comment, your theme the right way so that it supports it. Yeah.
It could be dangerous.
We do threading up to about 4. After that, it just gets too scrunched. But it's nice to be able to kind of see how that conversation ebbs and flows. So here we're not logged in anymore. This is what a user would see. Oh wait, you're still logged in. So if I came to post a comment, I can you essentially have these social options if you want to just simply connect to your social account. This is to log in to Discuss, or you can just pick a name and post, more kind of guest comment. It's up to the site if they need to require that to be registered, or or essentially just guest or unregistered. And the other nice thing about Discuss 2012 is you'll see it auto-inherits a lot of these attributes. So this site has a gray background, red links. This is what Discuss looks like on this site. They actually didn't do any coding. It's just automatic. Whereas, let's go back to Andrew Chen's blog, more standard white, blue links. This is what Discuss looks like. So we try to make it really tight, looking out of the box, nice integration, but not having to do a lot of coding and other stuff. Essentially, that's what a user sees. If you want to reply, you can do that. They all flow in line. We developed voting, so similar to Reddit and Yelp, using that same algorithm to actually float up the best content. We realize, it's rarely the first comment or the last comment that's the best, but close to about 40% of people that see your page will scroll down and see the comments. And so our thinking was, let's show them the best that thread has to offer, and it will help to better engage those people. So here's this comment, for example. Got 16 upvotes, had a bunch of people reply to it. People were engaging with this comment. This is why I'm seeing this comment first. Relating to kind of the social aspects, if I wanted to know more about Kid Mercury, I can see his profile. I think this is one of the nice things about, I think the other part about commenting in SEO is also similar to guest blogging, like Jonathan was talking about, is where else do you comment? Just like you would guest post a blog, where else would you guest comment? And obviously you want to be engaged in your own threads, but also what other relevant audiences, communities are there? Yo.
Just take
One more?
Yeah, one more question. Marta?
All right.
What's on the community tab? Discussion and community?
Yeah, community is one of the things we're trying to do is really help people discover new content. And so that can be, really, people come, they might read the post, read some of the comments. What are they going to do next? Community helps to show what else are really active, interesting conversations going on this site. So I can click on community and very quickly see, these were some very active threads I can see some of the most active people involved from this site, and so it helps me just connect to get to know those people better. But at the same time, from a site perspective, recirculate that traffic. Are they going to bounce and go from your site, or are they going to keep engaged and find more stuff to read and dig deeper into your site? So if you want to email me, have questions, you can always tweet @discuss. My email is Jon, Jon, @discuss. But thank you guys. Thanks, Steve.